What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. KG's back. We're live streaming on this one, not a recorded video. So if you're in the chat right now, we're live and direct. If it's a replay, it's not live. What can I tell you? Shout out to everyone that's going to join me today and anyone that's watching the replay. Much appreciated. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your comments below. Thank you to Karen Curtin and William Morrison for their super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys. If you want to become a member of the channel, membership, this link is in the description. Really does help me out, helps the channel out, and super thanks on comments really go a long way. So thank you, everybody. Jalen, happy to catch a live, usually watching in post piece because of the US. No problem, man. Thank you for joining me. Evening, Russ, Katrina, Kevin, everyone. Yeah, listen, yeah, and of course, hope everyone's good. Yeah, it's been a few days, hasn't it? It's been a few days since the Coventry result, and it's quite interesting because the comments and the feeling around the place that I've seen anyway feels like we lost the game. And because of where we are in the table, then we see Leicester do what they did yesterday against Birmingham. It just feels like we're forever going to be playing catch up to the top two. But I want to get into reasons, what you feel the reasons are why we're so far behind. Any adjustments that you think could be made under this manager, or if he's even capable of them. And you know, we're going to highlight the good and we're going to highlight the negative. It's just the way it has to be when you're third place in the championship. And Gavin, is Creswell our next Leif Davis? We'll find out in January, Gavin. I swear, January is going to be so interesting, people. It's going to be super interesting on a point of who's coming in and who is going to go out. And no, I don't want to. It's not scaremongering, but if we're not in touch more with the top two, and let's just say, for whatever reason, Aston Villa or someone like that come in for one of our better players, that's going to be hard for them to turn down. It's going to be real hard. So we've got to make sure that we keep in touch with this top two in order to keep everybody and add exactly what we need going forward as well. Jeff, man, yeah, all good, man, all good, man. Hope you're well and hope everyone's well. And evening to Jim and everyone else here. So shall we go into it? Let's go into it, people. So this is something that, I mean, all of these things are things that are catching my eye and things that are going on, or you know, what could happen going forward or what has happened. So we'll talk in these kind of terms. You know, Farke was talking about you know, he didn't think there was a lack of freshness in the team versus Coventry. He felt the defending against a counter-attacking was pretty sharp and enough chances to win the game. Wasn't happy with the finisher, but isn't being overly critical. And I think the reason why he's not being overly critical is because it's partly on him. When we're really thinking about it, it's really partly on him because, and shout out to this Johnny Cooper who's got a boatload of stats. I think he works for Opta. But this is a great stat, and it's a damning stat. Opta has analyzed over almost 6,000 matches in the championship across the last 11 seasons, and the 7 chances Crescencio, Somerville, and Georgino created for one another against Coventry City yesterday is the most of any duo in the game in that time. Now that sounds great, doesn't it? That sounds like, okay, we're creating chances. Some of them were good, some of them were, yeah. But the problem was most of them fell to Georgino. And as wonderful as Georgino is as a player, he is not a finisher. And we're seeing that game after game after game. He's a creator, people. He's an absolute creator, and that's what we should be keeping him as. So when I see this stat, as impressive as it is, there is the reason why is because we haven't got a forward up front. Our forward currently plays in the central midfield sometimes. It's really odd how that keeps happening with Joel Perau, and he's getting hammered by the fan base. He doesn't get involved enough. He's not doing this and that. He's having to learn a whole new system, people. He's having to, even if you said at Swansea he played as a 10, let's just go with that theory. I'm sure when he was at Swansea, he was not finding himself having to start moves at the halfway line. We do not have Harry Kane here. This is not Harry Kane who does that and then just runs forward and then just tucks them in here, there, and everywhere. Joel Perau is Joel Perau. And I would always say as well, I think his goal return for what he's done so far is pretty good. There's only one game I can remember where he was fluffing his lines a lot, and that's just one. In other ones, he's not getting these opportunities. Steve the Searcher here saying, if he sticks with the same team and loses against Ipswich, there will be trouble. He's behaving like Garcia and being a pig stubborn. Being pig stubborn might be his downfall. Yeah, listen, people, I've always said what I've always said on here. Managers live and die by their decisions all the time. You know, if you don't feel you're being backed enough and your team's not good enough, then you need to adjust your tactics. You know, and that hasn't happened before. We've seen managers go with the same players over and over again. And this time, what we've got with Daniel Farke is just a rigidness. You know, somebody that said, I don't want to reveal my first 11 every week so the opposition, you know, gets some knowledge of what I'm going to do. Well, I'm afraid everyone knows what you're going to do at the moment because you're picking the same team. You're picking the same team, Daniel. And yeah, I mean, David here, then Farke should be critical of his inefficient players if he's consistently asking for efficiency. Efficiency, yeah. And that's why I feel like he couldn't really go at him because I love Georgino. Listen, this is nothing on Georgino. I've always said I don't see him as a 20 goal a season player. I see him as a more of a creator, assist kind of guy. So that doesn't bother me, his finishing. It then goes on the manager. Okay, well, we've spoke about this before. I do wonder if he's going to get asked about it again in the press conference. They probably won't because of the 30-minute answer he gave a month or so ago, 2 months ago. But there is there is a cause to be said about moving Perau further forward. It just makes sense. Somebody got 22 goals in the last 2 seasons in each season. Why is he playing so deep? It don't make no sense to me. Um, Let's have a look. Mark here saying the 49ers are ruthless. If they don't think Farke is getting the best out of the squad, he'll be in trouble. They will let the stats make decisions, not emotions. Yeah, Mark, the 49ers, what we've seen, and even from their footballing side, they're definitely more data-driven or data-driven, as they'd say. They're not, I don't think they're into this whole, oh, you've been here a long time, here's another year contract malarkey that we had to suffer before. Well, most of us suffered. A lot of you enjoyed that, but no, I didn't enjoy this sentimental thing, and I don't enjoy it again. At this point in time, though, I will lay my cards out. I still think Daniel Farke will probably be the best man to take us up. There's a lot of football to be played. There's still going to be ebbs and flows in the season at times. The problem he's got coming up this week, though, people, the game to rest some players was the one against Coventry. This is not the game to do it. So he's going to be damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. So if he makes changes against Ipswich coming up, people are going to be saying, well, why didn't you play your best team? If he makes a couple of changes, you know, if he doesn't make changes, we've been needed to change for ages. You need to freshen it up. But there are things that he could do. Karen here saying, put Perau in his natural position and Rutter behind him. Rutter is a creative player, not a striker, 100%. Lee's saying here, let's see how ruthless the 49ers in the January transfer window. Yeah, because we definitely need something. And I'll get to that just a little bit later on. I'm going to save that one, Dave. I'm going to save that one. Let's have a look. Michael here saying, KG spot on. He's missed lots of opportunities to rotate the squad. Yeah. This game against Coventry as well, it was a given at home. Sorry, I know people say that football's not played on paper and, you know, you've got to do what you got to do. I completely agree. But we should have won that game. And with a couple of changes, it would not have hurt against that Coventry team. It just wouldn't have. And we saw at the end how frustrated the players got and everything else like that. But when I was looking as well, people, let me just get something else. This game yesterday, when we've looked last week, and we can only go by last week because previous to that we was in real good form, but last week we were a bit more sluggish. I saw a counter attack by Leicester City that we would not have been capable of in the last 2 games because the players look a little leggy. Leicester literally countered from Birmingham's, I think it was a corner, went up there and 4 touches, goal. At the moment, we're having our players take 4 or 5 touches, wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment to create, to get a shot off. You know, we're doing things very laborious in the last couple of games, and it's showing in the results, I'm afraid. But yeah, what I saw from Leicester, and this is the difference. Leicester City are the best team in the league. It's pretty obvious with that. But they've been able to make changes, as did Ipswich a couple games ago, and they're still keeping up the pace. Meanwhile, we're keeping with the same thing, same formula, same way of playing, and we're getting hit. We're losing points at the moment, and we can't afford to lose any points. Oh, Jamie, that's harsh. One more chance for my boy James. Yeah, listen, it was not good. He should have scored against Coventry, should have. But yeah, he's been good up to now. But this is the point I want to make. When we look at the table, we are doing well. This season is definitely an anomaly in terms of our point total right now should be good enough to be first or second, but it's not. And that's the facts you got to deal with. Now, people say, yeah, I shouldn't expect too much, this and that. I'm sorry, man. Listen, even if you want to say Leicester City, who are the best team, listen, give them their props. They are recent Premier League champions, even more recent FA Cup winners. Last season was a disaster for them. Cool. They should be above us. No problem with that. But Ipswich Town, are we really saying that we deserve to be where we are, lower than Ipswich Town? So we can't do better than Ipswich Town's results, who have also beaten Coventry and beaten some of the teams that we haven't beat. You know what I mean? It's yeah, T85. And Farke is being complacent with our Welsh players, dismissing any concerns by saying they've made a Welsh steal. I benched DJ for that bad dive. Yeah, Bowden got benched for lesser crimes. Yeah, that benching for Roden against Southampton was disgusting. You know, that was a disgrace. He got sent off for literally doing the job of two players. I know, I won't forget it. Roden up to that point was imperious in that game. He was doing his job and Luke Ayling's, and he made a mistake and he got punished for it. It's incredible, isn't it? But that's what happens. Michael here saying, worryingly, if we are destined for the playoffs, Farke's game management is a disadvantage. And that's another thing as well. People saying that it looks like it's the playoffs and we should accept that. I'm not going to accept that at this time. And I don't think any of you should too, man. There's still, like I said, there's still a lot of football to be played. And also, if you want to look at the table, it doesn't mean anything now, but we haven't beaten any of these teams below us here. So if you're thinking that we're going to get to the playoffs and just, you know, go without that Leeds mental block of being the big pressure games that it is for us, you're sadly mistaken. Listen, we haven't beaten Southampton in the game we played them. We didn't beat West Brom. We did not beat Hull City. We didn't beat Sunderland. And we got Preston to come, who are just below them. You know, so there is no givens that the playoffs are going to be a glorious one. Now, if you can go up via the playoffs, that's wonderful. You know, you feel the buzz for other teams when they go up. You're like, oh, that looks amazing. I just don't trust it with Leeds United. I just don't. But when you also look at something else in the table here, and I want to just highlight this, goals for 37, when Ipswich have scored 47, Leicester with 44, that's a concern for me. There's no way this team should only be just scoring 37 goals, and that is one of my main concerns. And I've highlighted the results here, and there's some very good results here. But the theme I want to highlight here is this. And this is just going back from, you know, just after the transfer window. So yeah, bad point against Sheffield Wednesday, no matter the circumstances. You know, 3 against Millwall, 3 against Watford, 2 against Bristol City, 3 against Norwich, 4 here against Huddersfield, and that's as good as it gets for us. That is as good as it gets for Leeds United with this strike force that we have. That is not good enough for me, I'm afraid. And I know Daniel Farke can say as much as he wants. He doesn't want to embarrass opposition managers and things like that, blah, blah, blah. I don't buy that. I don't like that. I like a ruthless guy. I like somebody to say, we've got 5, let me get a 6-1. You know, I don't want the first half like against Huddersfield where we're on top of them, suffocating them. They don't know what to do with themselves. They're fouling because they can't get near us. Go 4-0 up, have the potential to win that one 7-8 if we keep our foot on the gas, to then tailing off in the second half out of respect. Nah, not for me, man. You gotta dead that straight away. Yeah, SJ, when the front four stopped scoring, we stopped scoring. Yeah, I highlighted earlier about Leicester. Take Ipswich as well with goals from midfield. We still haven't got a goal from central midfield. It seems to be an Achilles heels for this football club over the past couple of years, and that needs to change. Now, there's nothing wrong with Kamara or, you know, Ampadu's performances in the main. They're not goal scoring midfielders, but this is where now maybe Archie Gray, can he be unleashed in the midfield to create more? We've seen him create. He had a lovely 1-2 with Georgino the other week and helped set up a goal for Somerville. We need some goals from midfield people. We cannot keep on relying on the front four. As good as they are, it's not always going to work. Leeds, okay, let me just go back onto the table just for full context here. Leeds here saying 12 wins in 22 is shocking to say we're ex-Premier League, ex-Prem team and big club. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to discount the turmoil at the start of the season. That was very difficult to navigate with so many moving parts in and out. But it is some of the results, like the draws that we keep getting, the top 2 teams have beaten these teams. Coventry have lost to Leicester and Ipswich and various other teams that we've drawn to, they've beaten. And that is the difference right now. And we're clawing, we're scratching and crawling, trying to get back. And look at our last 5. It's not even a disaster. In any other season, that's not a disaster. 1 loss in the last 5. But then you look at the 2 above, they're just relentless people. So we do have to keep up the pace, you know, get back up to keeping up the pace, because one point in six is just not good enough. But it's also on the top two as well. Can we get a chink in their armor at any point, please? Please, can we get a chink in their armor? Um, this is on Ampadu's long range shooting. I think T85 saying Ampadu may as well be playing for the Rhinos with some of his shots. Yeah, tremendous, tremendous. So yeah, I mean, look, there's just so many things here that could be improved with this team. And are we going to get solutions? Are we going to get adjustments from Daniel Farke? I would say no. When we heard from Norwich fans and, you know, saying like he's one of the best things that happened to us, but he's stubborn, we're seeing that right now. We are absolutely seeing the stubbornness right now, and the lack of, you know me, people. I need you to be accountable when you get some stuff wrong, and he's not being accountable at all. You know, nothing. He doesn't look within to himself. You know, he's talking more about the referee in the game and everything else like that. Now you got to miss me with that. It's on you, man. We're at home against Coventry City. You've got to get 3 points. Michael here saying Farke will not change. It's worrying. Yeah, it's a concern, but are we going to get something different? Are we going to get something different from the team? I mentioned earlier about Sam Byram. Let me just get this off. Let me get in these. And while I'm doing this, people, please hit a like on the video while I'm just getting the next kind of slides up, if you will. Not that one. Not that one. This one here. I put Sam Byram the glue. And Dave here, when asking is Byram the glue, just ask yourself, what's our record when he's not in the team? Well, funny you asked that, Dave. Because again, via J.R. Cooper, Leeds United are still yet to win a championship game this season without Sam Byram in the starting 11. 6 games without him, 5 draws, 1 defeat. Leeds have won 12 of 16 games with him in the 11. That to me says Sam Byram, you one hell of a player. And listen, this is not taking anything away from Sam. He's been incredible for us this season. Incredible. Seriously, he's been better than I even imagined. And I hold my hands up and I thought, okay, what are we doing here? You know, what's going on here? Why are we signing Sam Byram? But he has been magnificent. But this stat for me says more, as good as he's played, and again, not taking it away from him, it says more about just having somebody competent in that position. We've seen with him out the game, we are not getting overlapping runs properly because Jed Spence, for all he's trying, is not a left back. He's a right back, and we're trying to do the square pegs and round holes thing again. And if we can just get somebody efficient in January on a temporary deal, please, on a temporary one, that will give us a whole new dimension going forward. It will give us a whole new dimension that we're not currently getting right now. And Sam Byram, I liken Sam Byram to, if any football manager plays, knows this thing. When you retrain a player in a position, and at the start of the season, for me, he was orange because he was still solid defensively, which was a big draw with Sam Byram. Absolutely brilliant defensively, but going forward, his left foot wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. Over the past couple months, he's starting to now whip that ball with his left foot. He's obviously put in the training. He's obviously got the system in him, like Lars here says. Shout out to you, Lars. You know, he's obviously got the system ingrained in him now, and he's more than competent now. I'd say he's just a green now. He's a green. I would be more than happy if Sam Byram could stay fit for him to be the left back. But again, that's another thing that Farke said at the end of the window. We have Sam Byram. We have Junior Firpo. Another manager we previously had said the same thing, not with Sam Byram, but we've got Junior Firpo and we've got Pascal. That was Jesse Marsh when he wanted a left back. And we know he was in for a left back because we were after the guy that's gone to Sheffield United from Leicester. What's his name? Oh, my days. I've got a block. Can't remember who it is. But we was going in for a left back. So we did want another one. And this thing again about settling for, you know, these kind of players, that's on the manager as well. He should, you know, I know he's not going to come out and say, the club have failed me, we should have got a left back, but just say, well, look, we're going to have to do with these two. Hopefully they will be fit, although it's been tough for him. He didn't say any of that. He says, we will be fine. We got Sam Byram, Junior Firpo. Well, right now we've got Neva. We got Neva. No, not James Justin, not Charles de Ketelaere. No, what's it? Oh, Luke Thomas. Luke Thomas is his name. Just remember, Luke Thomas. Lord Sheargraph is saying here, Farke was not happy after the Cov game. Now his test really begins. Can he stand up to Leeds fans not being happy yet? This is it. a completely different pressure cooker from Norwich City, and he's finding that out. And we will see what he's about. And listen, Lord Sheargraph, again, going back to something that Farke said, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I like when there's problems. Remember he said that? I like that we've got issues now. This is what makes it exciting for me. Well, I'm going to need you to step up, and I'm going to need you to coach then. Shout out to you, Spencer. Yep, live and direct, man. Live and direct right now. So this is what I'm saying. Daniel Farke says a lot of things, sometimes too much at times, but he's got to now back it up. He's got to back it up. And Sam Byram, I hope he comes back as soon as possible. We need him in the team. But I want to see, and I've said this before, people, long-term subscribers will remember this when we was in the Premier League. I hope we have somebody lined up for a left-back spot and we sign them on the first day of the January transfer window. I don't want to see any delays. I want that one to be locked and loaded. Teams are doing deals right now. Frankfurt are signing Donny van der Beek from Man United, even though the window's not open. These things happen. Talks happen before the window actually opens, so everyone knows where they're going to be from the start of the window. We can get this done, people. A T85 saying, for all of Bielsa's stubbornness, he learned from his time with us and start using more zonal mark with Uruguay. It's time Farke learn from his errors if El Loco can. Yeah, listen, I'm not going to lie to you and say that I'm watching Uruguay football, because I'm just not. But yes, he did. He died on that sword, didn't he, T85? Even though let's just say he wasn't back the way that he wanted to be, he had the plays, he knew the limitations, and still tried to play like we were the best team in the world against Premier League opposition, and we got hit game after game after game. If he's learned from that, cool. And that is something that I said about Daniel Farke, with him learning from his last stint with Norwich in the Premier League, and knowing that if you don't have the horses, or if you need to change something, do so, and don't be so accepting of defeat, because I saw that far too often from him. But yeah, these are warning signs that I did say in the video when we welcomed Daniel Farke to the club. Still think he's the man for the championship. Above that, I'm not too sure. Paul here, do you think Sinistero might come back in January? I don't think so, Paul, and I've not seen anything to suggest otherwise. I just don't see, unless there's a break in the loan clause, I just don't see it, and I haven't read anything about a break in the loan clause. I should say. I don't think there's a recall option. So again, I mean, Nate, and a shout out to Nate, another member of the channel. He asked me this the other day, but if there's no recall clause, then it's a non-starter, isn't it? And I don't think Sinistero, with all the way Nanto is treated right now, he's just barely being tolerated. I don't think Sinistero will be welcome back here. I don't think overall Sinistero will be welcome back, but maybe some people will, just because of what he could possibly do in this division. But I would think that if his loan gets terminated for whatever reason with Bournemouth, I would suggest that he and his agent will have a new one lined up with another team. Did he play for us in the Championship? In that case, if he did, then he can't play for nobody else. So I don't remember. Did Sinistero play for us? He did, didn't he? Did he play for us? People, did Sinistero play for us at the start of the year or not? Please let me know. Oh, it was via that. Oh, well, then why are we talking then? Listen, Lord Sheargraph, thank you for that. In that case, forget about it. Yeah. Yes, he did. He did. Of course he did. He played at Ipswich. Yeah. So he can't go to another team. It's either us or Bournemouth. So I think he stays at Bournemouth. Yeah. And he scored a goal. Yeah. Yeah. Got it, people. He scored against Ipswich. Thank you. But yeah, I don't see anything in that. And plus, we need to be looking forward, man. We need to be looking forward and seeing who wants to help us in the interim to get us out of this division. I'm sick of this league, man. I don't want to be in this league for another season. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this again. So let's focus on, I think the 49ers will be focused on January and seeing what's going on, seeing what they can do to improve this squad, because it's quite clear as well, people. Let's talk about this. I don't think Daniel Farke could trust the subs that he's got. Because even if you go with Nanto and Jaden Anthony for a start, never mind Gruev, that's a completely separate issue. They're getting 10 minutes at best here and there. And I'm being generous with 10 because they usually come on for 5-6 minutes left to go. And that's with added time. They're not going to be fully match fit. Doesn't matter how fresh you think they are coming off the bench. They're not getting real match reps in. So they're not going to be fully fit regardless. And we're not going to get the full impact from them. Gruev, since that Stoke game, he's been put on when we're in the lead. and he gets make-a-wish minutes. He gets 2 minutes here and there just to shore up the midfield and make sure we don't concede again. Other than that, Daniel Farke doesn't look like he trusts them. He's been asked about Leo Yelder possibly playing at left back, and we saw what happened with the Cardiff game. The one time he did actually make a sub at half time, it was Yelder being hauled off because he had such a disaster, and we've barely seen him since. So I do think Daniel Farke will have his ideas and will probably talk to the board if they're engaging with him and saying, I need this and this in order to beef up this squad. Maz here saying, playoffs, I'm afraid. Oh, Lord. Michael here saying, yes, our subs or fringe are nowhere near match sharp. Not playing games is the result of that. Yeah, there's not playing games, and there's some that are quite frankly not good enough to be here when you look at the depth on, say, Leicester's bench. But yes, the match fitness won't be there, and 8 minutes here and there is not going to cut it. And that's why another start for a couple of them against Coventry City at home would have been beautiful to see, and given the regular boys a rest stuff. Imagine if Ampadu could have taken that Coventry game off, putting Gruev for the game. I don't think you're losing much there. Again, as well, he's talking about Aronson. Again, seeing this, maybe it's from the same site that's reported it, but Aronson, I don't see him getting a break. Now, he did not play for us in the championship. Quite frankly, he was one of those that ducked out quickly in the summer and make sure that he was one of the loanees to go. But no, not for me. Again, the way Aronson left and his interview since with the Athletic, where he was speaking about, you know, this and that with Leeds United, I just don't see that happening. I think that if he is to terminate that loan deal, which has been an absolute disaster where he's gone, I can't even remember the team he's gone to now, but wherever that is, I can see him possibly being loaned out to another club, maybe in Germany again. Certainly not going to be Premier League, I don't think so. But I can see Aronson possibly terminating that deal to go elsewhere. I don't see him playing for Leeds United again. Yeah, Jamie, listen, bro, will you take a girlfriend back after her relationship goes breasts up? Don't care how hot she is. Yeah, listen, I've made that kind of comparison before. I think people are just, you know, submissive by nature, Jamie, if you know what I mean. The submissive by nature. And you could be, like, I've made the comparison before. You break your leg and somebody, your partner, I can't deal with this. You know, I can't do this with you. You know, good luck. You know, you rehab, you get in the best shape of your life, and a year later, your partner whose new relationship isn't going too well, she sees you again, like, oh, actually, you want to try again? What are you gonna say? You know what I mean? You know, we shouldn't accept that. This is Leeds United Football Club, man. Yeah, Union Berlin, that's it. We shouldn't be accepting that. But listen, it's in people's nature to be submissive, as we've seen in the world. So I can, you know, I can't see from where they're coming from, but I do understand it. Let's have a look. Kevin here saying he does not trust his bench, KG. Too much focus on his first 11. Yeah, 100%. And again, that's from what Farke said. We need a squad to win. We need a squad to compete. The same 11 can't do it. Yet we're seeing the same 11. So he contradicts himself right there. Him being adamant that players like Creswell, Gelhardt, and others won't go. And he's not even guaranteeing them first team football here, not even when there's injuries. He goes with other people instead. I just think that he sometimes needs to realize that he's the manager and not a football fan, because some of the time he sounds like an over passionate football fan that is not using logic in their arguments to say what he needs to say. Yeah, Jamie, I know you hear that. I know you get it, mate. I know you get it. SJ saying, to be fair to Farke, our bench is uninspiring. Listen, I would say, SJ, that if you could give a striker like Matteo Joseph just a bit more time and not just 10 minutes here and there, let's see what he's got to offer. What have we got to lose? Seriously, what have we got to lose with him coming on? What have we got to lose with Willie Gnonto starting a game? We actually do have some decent options here, but we're just not seeing them. They're not being utilized. Is Gruev as bad as the Stoke game, or can he be better? We won't know until we get to see him in another start. But that's on Daniel Farke. Listen, these are all managers' decisions. Yeah, Lee CC saying Gnonto is a game changer. Get him on for a full game. Yeah. And yeah, Nidar, this is it as well. For the championship, our bench is still better than most. And that's what I'm saying. Listen, if you think that we survive another year, we're going to have to then sell some good assets in the summer if we don't go up. replace them with subpar ones at best. And this is how you become a middling championship table team. This is what happens. All of a sudden, your best players have to go. You come this Norwich, who were yo-yoing before the worldwide shutdown, and then all of a sudden money wasn't so freely available to championship clubs to spend 50 million on a average Premier League dropout. It happens, and we don't want to do this, people. We don't want to do this. Blackburn, Premier League heritage there. Huddersfield not so long ago in the Premier League. When you have to strip your assets bare and replace them with subpar ones, you become just another championship club. And right now, people, we are not just another championship club. We have players that teams are desperate not to play against. Let me just get something up here. Let me just get this up here. Let me see. I know LUFC data's got something for me. Archie Gray. I know he's got something. Okay. All right. All right, here we are. Just a couple of things from LUFC data. Only former Leeds winger Jack Clark has completed more successful take-ons than Leeds duo Georgino wrote at 53, Somerville 51 in the championship. Danger. Archie Gray, yeah, Archie Gray's doing tremendously. And that's another thing with Sam Byram, by the way, that I just want to say with Archie Gray. Archie needs to be moved back into midfield because at the moment he's getting found out at right back. He's not having a good time there as of late. And where Sam Byram, even though going forward was a weakness at times, his defensive work was stellar. People weren't getting past Sam Byram. Archie at the moment is having a bit of a tough time at right back. So we do need to get that bit sorted out. There was something else from AOC data. It must have been ages ago. Listen, people, time is flying. Let me just tell you that. Time is flying. Let me just tell you. I thought it was a couple days ago. Obviously not. Yeah, Georgino. This is what I'm talking about. This is the one I'm talking about here. All right. This is what I wanted to highlight. Crescencio Somerville, I think he's on 10 goals now because he scored against Coventry. 9 goals, 6 assists. Georgino, 4 goals now, 9 assists because he set up Crescencio. Dan James, 7 goals, 4 assists. Joel Perau, 8 goals, 1 assist. That's Joel Perau playing from the number 6 position at times. We need to take advantage of these kind of players while we've got them right now, because from the summer, when the window gets closed short for PNS because the parachute payments reduce, we're going to have to sell a couple of these players, and this is when the rut starts and you just become another middling championship club. So by all means, we have to take advantage, and the 49ers, it will not be lost on them. We did not sign Joel Perau to get in the playoffs. We did not spend £1 million on a Jed Spence loan. We didn't do all of this. We didn't keep Crescencio Somerville turning down 20 million plus bids for him in order just to be another championship club. They want promotion this season, people. Seriously. Yeah, Diggler, I actually preferred the team with Archie midfield with Amps. It was a lovely duo, but then you look at Kamara as well. But that's the wonderful thing. If you get people fit, you can rotate the 3 players, and that keeps them all fresh, like Leicester are doing with Kieran Dewsbury Hall, Casaday, Ndidi. They've got other options in there where they don't play them together in every game. They rotate them, and that's what we have to do. Let's have a look. Oh, T85. Georgino shooting is starting to make him a liability despite everything else he does. Bit like Bamford in the promotion season. Nah. For me, well, that's not on Georgino though, and that's on Daniel Farke, because he shouldn't be playing that far up. If we were talking everything like you've just said, T85, about Joel Perau missing these chances, that's a real conversation there, because he should be a talisman. But the fact that they keep on falling to Georgino when it's quite clear as anyone can see he isn't a natural finisher, that's a manager issue, I'm afraid. I'm not believe me, I'm not putting Georgino, I'm not getting him off the hook here. But it would, like I've said before, it'd be like asking Archie Gray to take these same chances and him to convert them. He's not going to do that because he's not a striker. There's a reason why strikers are the best well-paid players, because they do the hardest bit in football, and that's scoring goals. I just saw Callum Wilson, by the way, and we're a long way from that, but I just saw Callum Wilson just bully the Chelsea defense, pressure him into a mistake and scoring a goal. That was wonderful to see. I like Callum Wilson, though. I like him. Michael, just a shame about his injury record, though. Terrible injury record. Michael here saying, KJ, I agree, refreshness. Don't understand why Farke can't see it. We will see. We will see. Let's have a look. Leeds here saying Farke hasn't improved our players. Georgino and Melia haven't improved their shooting or shot stopping respectively. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, for me, Melia is always going to be an issue for me now. I just don't think he is going to be the guy. I still feel that he could be the one to get us up, but I have got my eyes on other keepers that are way better than Melia, way better than Melia to be the number one at Leeds, and they're definitely attainable once we're back in the Premier League. But yes, listen, Melia has gained a bit of confidence. You can see he's not as shaky as before. You know, obviously getting battered in the Premier League every week and behind that defense isn't going to help you. But you can see he's improved certain things. But you're right, some simple shots that he could stop are still going in. You know, some of it, like the one against that save he made, that was being blown up as one of the best saves ever. It wasn't nowhere near the corner. It was a good save, but it wasn't great. If he does that again against Coventry, we possibly get a point or maybe even go on to win. But he didn't get there, and that wasn't in the corner either. But yeah, SJ, love Callum Wilson. He's got that spite in his game. Yeah, he's a dog. He even says it himself. I love listening to him and Mikel and Antonio talk, but he says, you know, he likes to get involved. He likes to get in the defenders' heads and everything else like that. Real old school. Real old school. Listen, we just seen Chiellini, a defender, retire, man. One of the last real men of the game. The one that's carrying the mantle now is Rudiger. You know, Rudiger is a real man and an absolute menace. Actually, I think Pepe is still playing, but yeah, it's a shame, man. We're missing these characters in the game, man. Seriously. Let's have a look. Maz here saying Farke is stubborn, seems to lack invention with the squad selection. Yeah. The thing is, though, Maz, let me ask you here now. If he does something different with the squad against Ipswich and it doesn't come off, do you think he gets hammered for it? Because I do. I think he absolutely gets hammered for it. But then I also think he gets hammered if he doesn't change and we lose again. I think he's stuck himself. He's got himself in this mess, to be fair, because he should have made the changes against Coventry. Yeah, listen, Michael. Yeah, Rudiger is a horrible B. Great defender to have in your side. Rudiger, real man, real man. Do you see when he does that thing where he thinks the striker's got away from him, then he does that funny run back and then just gets the ball? Real man, real man. Yeah, SJ, exactly. And we can kind of wrap a bow on that one there, saying Perau getting one chance a game, Rutter getting four. It's the wrong way around. 100%. 100%. I'll be going to be very interested to see if anyone has the intestinal fortitude to ask him about that in the press conference again. See if they'll bring it back up. Don't see it happening, though. Don't see it happening. For somebody, I'm only highlighting this because somebody said that they wanted the manager that's being quoted here. But Forest have parted ways with Steve Cooper. And they will be appointing Nuno Espirito Santo. I think it's Chris Kingy. Chris Kingy, if it's you, I think it is you, isn't it? You've been asking for Nuno as a replacement for Daniel Farke, which scares the living bejeebies out of me, that kind of football. Well, Forest are going to be stuck with it now. Let's see how they get on. But Nuno Espirito Santo, Chris Kingy, he's off the table. He's going to Nottingham Forest. he's gone to Nottingham Forest. Other thing I wanted to highlight here. Let's have a look. Let me just have a sip of drink. Hold on. Can you try Joel as a 9 and for 10 minutes, please, Farke? Cheers, fella. I wonder if anyone's going to ask it. Victor Gyökeres, who we was long linked with, and obviously was a target for Leeds United, and then got a decent, big money move to Sporting from Coventry, paying, was it something like 20 something million in the end with add-ons? Well, he's been on fire for them this season, and Premier League clubs have now started to monitor him. Same old story with Premier League snobbery, but the sporting directors come out and said he will only leave if someone pays the buyout clause in January, which is around 100 million euros. And I just wanted to bring that up because, you know, Gyökeres would have been lovely to have, because he was definitely somebody you could see that would be a killer for us in the Championship and then move on to the Prem. And maybe you don't have to invest so much in a forward there. But it's just that thing again about when players do well in the Championship, the Premier League snobbery is incredible. They never want to take the chance. They hardly ever do it. And when they do it and the player doesn't do well in the first 5 games, you'll see that player then get tossed back into the Championship and down the leagues, and you never see him again. And it's just the point of take the chance on some of these players. Not every Championship player is gonna make it Premier League level. Let me make that clear, because there's a lot of dross in this league, but there's certain talents where you go, if we take a chance on him, I think he could do something for us. And he was one of them. I still think Joel Perau could be one of those. Obviously, we've got some more now. Crescencio, Somerville, Georgino, Rutter, I think will go on to the top levels. But it's just that thing, isn't it, with Premier League? They never buy it cheap. They always wait until it gets hot and then have to pay over the odds. Ivan Toney being another one. And I was desperate for us to get Ivan Toney. Thought Sheffield United could have got Ivan Toney. He was like 8 million at the time, people. Now they're talking about you're going to need, even though he's been banned for 6 months, somebody like Arsenal or someone like that is going to have to pay ridiculous money to get Ivan Toney. It's just a thing. Sometimes when a player has got that thing, take a chance on it, because you, instead of paying 100 million, you could be paying 20. And that's something. And it's just a word for all Premier League clubs, and hopefully us when we go back into the Premier League. Michael here saying Premier League clubs are clueless with their scouting, us with order included. Yeah. Listen, he definitely more misses than hits for us, 100%. But yeah, I mean, even if, say, like we were looking at Rafinha at the time, let's just say, and Arsenal were looking at him too, it would have been us taking the chance on him at 17 and then seeing what he can do in the league, and then other teams going, oh yeah, let's go and get him now at 60, 70 million. And they always do it. They rather go spend 100 million on absolute average players than scout properly. And this is why I've always said, people, and I always disagree with Bielsa when he said it about needing 20 million in each position. It's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Having money does help, and it gives you a bigger pool to play with. But Aston Villa are living proof of that right now. Villa are now flirting with the top 4. Not flirting, they're in the top 4. You know, they're looking to go on a European charge next season, possible Champions League, and they've done that by recruiting smartly. They got some key free transfers in there. They got some good young homegrown players as well, and they haven't paid over the odds for everyone. Yes, the wingers. I think Bailey was probably costly. Maybe is it Diaby? Is it Diaby that they've got as well from Leverkusen? But other than that, they've still got the core of John McGinn, Martinez, who's an absolute top goalkeeper, was 20 million. There's ways of doing it, people. Ways of doing it, and you just got to get your recruitment bang on. Seriously. Lee's lead saying Premier League clubs can get banned for free now. That's a steal. Yeah, listen, hopefully, you know, I know Chris Wilder's back at Sheffield United. He won't take him. They didn't get along, did they? They had a little back and forth a couple of years ago. So yeah, Paul, I know, to think we were neck and neck with Villa only a couple of years ago. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, Villa are now planning, you know, important games where they're beating Man City, they're beating Arsenal to cement themselves in the top 4. We're welcoming Ipswich, hoping to close the gap on them in order to get in the top 2. You know, it's disgusting, and that's why for me, I just won't accept that for Leeds United. I never will. I'll always try and have the biggest ambition I can for this football club. Look, when you start supporting a club when you're not from the area, it's not because of any other reason but your parents supporting them, which is partly true for mine, or they were one of the best football teams. And there's still the potential for Leeds United to do that. That's why I just won't accept that. And I think that we've got an ambitious board that probably matches me more than ever before, you know, apart from Ridsdale, who was just ridiculous, though. And that's why, for me, when we talk about it and when we're comparing ourselves with Villa, who still lost their key assets, people say we lost Rafinha, we lost Callum Phillips, they lost Jack Grealish. But you know what they did? They invested the money. And you know what else they did as well, people? Something else Villa done, and I've got to give them credit here, is when something doesn't work, they just try it again. So whereas we lose Alioski, bring in Junior Firpo, you've got our fans then calling back for Alioski because Firpo's not good enough. Instead of doing what Villa did and said, actually, this guy's not good enough. You know what? Get in another one and try that instead. You know, this club always, and the fan base in general, loves to look back. They love to look back and say, oh, we should get this player back, instead of looking forward and saying, who could do something for us now, instead of the player that was decent, you know, 5 years ago. But Yeah, listen, I think I'm on an island when it comes to stuff like that, and just ambitions for the football club, because I don't just want Leeds United to exist, which a lot of people are happy with. I want it to be successful. I want to see armpits. I want to see this club lift a trophy. Even when we was in League One, I wanted to win that Johnston's Paint trophy because I want to see us be successful. But I know that doesn't match everyone's love or ambitions for the club. It's just one of those things. Nidar here saying key moment: Villa sack Gerrard for Emery, Steven Gerrard for Emery, Leeds stuck with Marsh. Yeah, things like that, they do hurt you. And Andrea, if he just had a bit more backbone, he would have made certain decisions that would have benefited Leeds United, like possibly getting rid of Jesse Marsh when he was planning to. Then a result against Fulham changed his mind, or selling Jack Harrison when he could have for the money that we would have got for him. He would have done that, but other people vetoed it. We just need people that don't get easily swayed and are just ambitious people, and you can get success at your football club. Shane here saying we will Saturday and rain Ipswich. Believe, yeah. Listen, we will do a preview for the Leeds Ipswich game, and obviously it's a big game for us this weekend. Absolutely huge. Jamie here saying we could afford Emery wages. Apparently, they had their house sorted before us, and they got the money. Oh, I think you mean we couldn't afford Emery's wages. Yeah, the thing is with that though, Jamie, is that the amount of compensation that we would have paid out to managers that have been sacked in that 1 year for us, I'm sure that could have helped. And also buying an asset in Georgino for 35 million. Yeah, we could have afforded Emery if we really wanted to, but we just didn't. I mean, it's all too late with that. I'm just saying there are ways of being a successful football club. And look, Villa are having the time of their lives right now while we're looking to crawl a deficit against Ipswich Town. That's the reality, people. That's the reality. But listen, people, is there anything else that I wanted to highlight here? I think I've got everything. I think I have got everything. Yeah, we're good. Is there anything else you want to discuss before we head out of here, people? And obviously, before you go, please hit the like button before you go. Thank you. Lord Shiograph. Rads was to accept advice from that drunk lunatic. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, man. I always say with Rads, I'm not gonna, look back and say he was an awful owner, because yes, in the end, we're back where we started, which was his ambition to get Leeds into the Prem. He was just very naive and trying to be cheap with it as well. And that's just not a good combination. And we got stung for it. Yeah, they are direct. Is saying here also 49ers look like they're sorting out the background infrastructure too. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts in the background. It's not something that I'm really reporting on or discussing, but they're getting a lot of key components and key people in different areas all sorted out behind the scenes. It's important. That's how a well-run football club is done. That's how it is done. So they're making all the right moves. But obviously, January on the pitch, that's what we see as fans, and that's what we'll be judging it on as well. But listen, people, I'm going to end it there. Please hit a like on the video before you go. Drop your comments below. Drop your super thanks below if you can. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. It should be the Leeds Ipswich preview, but if not, if there's anything even more important before then, I'll be back before then. But listen, people, thank you for everyone that's joined me today. See you in the next one. Peace out.